Hey yogis, I'm Cori, and if you've been watching my videos for a few weeks now, you might notice that today we're in a new place. This is my new apartment. I just moved to Los Angeles. Rocky's here too. He's been running in and out of the shots, bringing me all his toys to play with, so he may be making some more appearances as the video goes on. And in the spirit of changing apartments for me, and changing seasons for all of us, we're going to do a nice grounding flow today. So you should find it pretty relaxing. And we're going to get started down on our bellies. We'll start face down on your mat and bring your arms out to your sides like a T, just making sure that they don't come up above your shoulders. And then we're going to bend into the right elbow and place that hand beside your chest. We'll bend the right knee and then start to roll over onto our left shoulder. And then if you like this to be more intense, you might even roll back over and cactus your elbow and then roll back onto your side. I don't really like it that way, so I'll straighten my arm out to the side. And then for a little more intensity, you can interlace your hands back behind you. Or just stay just as you are. And stay here for a few deep breaths. You should feel a nice opening across your chest and into the front of the shoulder. And take another big breath in. And we'll roll back onto our bellies. Re-straighten the right arm out to the side. We'll bend into the left elbow, left knee this time. Then we'll roll over onto our right side. And remember your options if you want to cactus your right elbow or bring your hands to interlace behind you. And take another deep belly breath. And we'll roll back face down. We'll bring both hands to plant beside our chest and press your way into a wide knee child's pose. Walk your knees mat's distance apart and sit back onto your heels. We'll lower the head down to the mat. And press your hands into the front of your mat. Just scoot your hips a little bit further back towards your heels. And take a nice breath in here. Exhale, release it out your mouth. And we'll come back onto all fours. We'll reset the knees underneath the hips. So we're going to stretch into the back of the shoulders. So we'll inhale the right arm up to the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath the left, coming down on the outside of your right shoulder. And we'll leave the left fingertips where they are. Walk them forward to the upper corner of your mat. You can even take that wrap around your low back if that feels better to you. We'll unwind that arm if you took the bind. Press down into your left hand. We'll lift the right arm up to the sky. Exhale it down to the mat. Switch over to the other side. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, threading it underneath the right arm. Bring the side of your face down, watching for any animals that might have come onto your mat in this process. We'll take one more breath in here. Bring your right hand back down beside your face. We'll inhale the left arm to the sky. Exhale. Bring your hands both underneath your shoulders. We'll set up in a tabletop for a few rounds of cat and cow. We've got a nice cat here to demo. We'll drop our belly down towards the floor. Tuck your toes under. Lift your heart forward and up. Exhale, just like Onyx here. We'll tuck our tailbone under. Chin squeezes down into your chest. And press your hands and your knees down into the mat. And we'll start to alternate between those two poses. Taking it a few times on your own. Giving it one or two more rounds here. And then we'll walk our hands forward, spread your fingers wide, make your way into downward facing dog. Lift your hips high and back behind you. Pedal out the knees here if you need to, get settled in. And start to rise up high on the balls of your feet, and then take little steps, bringing your feet up all the way behind your wrists. And we'll come hips distance apart in our feet, and then take your sway from side to side, or even interlace your hands and place them right at the base of your skull, just letting gravity do the work to tug your head down towards the mat. Letting your knees bend nicely, letting the crown of your head face down towards the floor. And then we'll release the hands so they hang down. Start to bend into the knees a little deeper, around and roll all the way up to standing. Inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, draw your hands down through heart center. We'll inhale, sweep the arms around and up. This time as you exhale, swan dive back down into your forward fold. And we'll lift up halfway, pressing your hands into your shins or your finger pads down on the mat. Then we'll plant the hands, step all the way back, lower your knees down, then we'll lower our chest and our chin down to the floor. And then slither forward so you come down onto your belly. And squeeze the elbows together back behind you, rise for a baby cobra. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. And we'll press up through hands and knees. Make your way back into your downward facing dog. And pedal out the knees here if you need to. Getting reset in your down dog. And inhale the right heel high back behind you. And on your exhale, step your foot up between your hands. We'll lower the back knee down, find Anjaneyasana here, but take a moment to get set. So square your hips toward the front of your mat. Try to find some length through your back hip flexor. Inhale, we'll draw the heart forward. And then as we exhale, we'll reach the hips toward the back of your mat, coming into a half split. You might like to have your fingertips around framing your front foot or right beside your hips for a little extra support with balance. But wherever you are, flex into your front foot, bend your knee if you need to, and we'll try to drive that heel down into the mat. And then on our next inhale, we'll start to bring the foot back to the floor, hinge forward. Sweeping your hips back towards the front of your mat. As you exhale, we'll re-straighten through the front leg, reach your hips toward the back. Inhale draws you forward. And then exhale, shift your hips back. And we'll re-bend into the front knee. We'll plant the hands. And we'll step the back foot up to the front of the mat. Make your way to a forward fold. And we'll inhale to rise all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come through heart center. And we'll inhale, sweep them around and up. And this time we swan dive back down towards the mat. And we'll inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. We'll step the right foot to the back of your mat. Lower your back knee down. And find that same swivel in your hips. Get them set up square towards the front of the room. And give yourself a moment to open up. And still feel the sensation of your inner thighs hugging together. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll shift the hips back, straighten through the front leg, flex your heel. Find some length through the back of your left hamstring, pulling both hips toward the back of your mat. And we'll rebend the front knee, shift your hips forward. Find that length in your right hip flexor. And shift back. And then start to match your movement to your breath. And your inhales draw you forward and your exhales lengthen through the hamstring as you pull back. forward. Reframe the front foot with your hands. Tuck your back toes under. We'll step back to a high plank. And then we'll lower our knees, our chest and chin down to the floor, and then slide forward into your baby cobra. Press down through the tops of your feet back behind you. Exhale, lower down. We'll press up through hands and knees. Make your way back to downward facing dog. And we'll bring our right heel up and back. And exhale to step it up in between your hands. And we'll lower our back knee down and then pivot on the back knee so your left heel kicks over to the right side of your mat. And we'll bring our right hand down to the inside of our front foot and take what's like a modified side angle here, reaching the left hand up to the sky. Trying to bring your gaze up towards your top thumb. And then press the outside of your right tricep into the inside of your knee, creating some space there in your hip so your knee will externally rotate to the right side of your mat. We'll inhale here. Now exhale, lower your top hand down. We'll reset the back foot so it kicks toward the back of the room. And then we'll start to walk our left hand over to the left edge of your mat, all the way off the edge of your mat. And we'll start to open up our right arm to the sky. And if you like, you can take the quad stretch back behind you, bringing your heel in towards your glute, and then letting your hips drop forward. And wherever you are, let yourself open up across your chest. Inhale down into your belly. And then exhale, we'll unwind, bringing your hands back around to frame your front foot. And we'll retuck the toes, step your back foot up to meet your front foot in a forward fold. Inhale takes us all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, reach high. Bring your gaze up towards your hands. Exhale, swan dive down. And we'll inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands. We'll step the right foot back this time. Lower your back knee down. And we'll find our modified side angle on the other side. So we'll kick our right foot over to the left edge of your mat. Bring your left hand down to the inside of your left foot and stretch your right arm up to the sky. And keep thinking about rotating your left knee over to the outside. And you can use your tricep on your left arm to encourage that. We'll take another inhale here. Exhale, bring your hands down around to frame your front foot. And we'll start to walk our right hand over to the right edge of your mat, all the way past it onto the wood or whatever underneath your mat on the outside. We'll stretch our left hand up to the sky. You can let your left knee fall over to the side, to the left side. Or take your quad stretch, reaching back to grab the top of your back foot. Shift your hips back towards your heel and then let them drop forward. And draw your shoulder blades together, open up across your chest. And inhale here. And as you exhale, unwind. Bring your hands back around to frame your front foot. And we'll retuck the back toes. Step back in a high plank. We'll lower our knees, chest and chin down to the mat. And then take a round of cobra here. Straightening your arms as much as you like. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, we'll sit the hips back on our heels in a close knee child's pose. Lower your forehead down to the mat. And breathe in once more here. Exhale, wide mouth. And we'll start to walk your hands back up towards your knees. And shift the hips over to one side so you come to a seat. And straighten the legs out in front of you. Pull any flesh out of the way of your sitting bones. We'll flex into both feet. Inhale, reach high. And then exhale to fold forward. Coming into a seated forward fold. And feel your hamstrings open. You can bend into your knees as much as you need to here. And let your chin travel down towards your chest. You can let your upper back round and your arms straight beside your legs. And take another inhale here. And exhale, start to drag your arms alongside your legs as you round and roll it up. And we'll come into a twist, bending into our right knee, and then we'll place that right foot on the outside of your left thigh. And then your choice here, if you want to have your legs straight out in front of you or bend into the knee, have the foot pointing back towards your hip. Just make sure you can ground into both hips here. And reach the left arm up to the sky and take our right fingers back behind us. And then start to take our twist over to the right. If you prefer, you can always hug this left knee in. Just make sure your spine stays sitting straight and tall. And we'll take another inhale to fill up into your belly. And on our exhale, we'll take a little counter twist over to the other side. And we'll straighten the legs out in front of you, give them a little shake. And then we'll bend into our left knee, place the left foot over to the outside of your right thigh. And then you decide if you want to have a straight leg here or bend the knee in. And we'll reground through the sits bones, reach your right arm high this time, and then start to take our twist over to the left. You can bring your gaze to shift back behind you, looking over your back shoulder. And remember, there's the option to just hug this left knee in. And take another breath into your belly. And exhale, twist a little deeper. And then we'll take our counter twist over to the other side. And we'll come back through center, re-straighten the legs out in front of you, give them a little shake here. And we'll plant the feet down on the mat, hips distance apart. Hands plant back behind your hips. We'll find a reverse tabletop here. Lift your hips up to the sky. You can keep gazing down at your belly button or release your neck, your chin to look back behind you. And then we'll start to shift our gaze forward. Lower your hips on down towards the mat. We're going to come all the way down onto our backs. And once you're down here, we'll cross the right ankle over the left knee. We'll reach down in between, threading the needle. We'll grab hold of the outside of your left shin, flexing into both feet. You can sway your hips from side to side here. And get comfortable. And find an area that feels nice to release. Gently encouraging your right knee away from your body. Now if you want to add in a hamstring stretch here, you can straighten your left leg up towards the sky. Take your hands around the back of your hamstring and draw everything in towards your face. And then if you took that option, re-bend into your knee. We're going to let both knees drop over to the left. So the bottom of your right foot will come down to the mat. And then you take your left hand and grab hold of your right ankle. And take it into a twist here. And you'll cactus your right elbow and then gaze over at that hand. Like a combination of a twist and a hip opener in the outside of your right hip. And we'll come back through center, uncrossing the legs. We'll hug the knees in. And then we'll bring the right foot down to the mat, cross your left ankle over, and we'll reach down through to grab hold of the shin or the back of the hamstring. And we'll flex both feet, and then encourage your left knee away from you as you draw the ankle in towards you. And if you like, you can straighten your right leg up to the sky. Get a stretch in the back of that hamstring. You could even take ankle circles with the top foot, pointing and flexing. And we'll rebend that top knee. We'll let both knees drop over to the right side. You can take your right hand down to grab hold of the left ankle. We'll cactus the left elbow and look over to that side. Feeling a nice opening in the outside of your left hip. And a spinal twist here too. And then we'll start to make our way back through center. And cross the knees. Hug both knees into your chest. And you're free to stay here or take happy baby pose when we grab hold of the outsides of the feet. And take a little rock from side to side. Just lengthen your tailbone down towards the mat. And then we'll hug everything back in, giving yourself a nice big squeeze. We'll take an inhale here. And as you exhale, unwind. Make your way down into your Shavasana. And letting your hands and your feet relax. And letting everything relax as we come into our final grounding rest here. Take your time, making your way out of your Shavasana. Coming up whenever you're ready or staying down as long as you like. We are happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this practice has you feeling pretty grounded and very relaxed. Namaste.